Hello, this is Full Time Devils' new YouTube channel for Man United fans. Do subscribe if you want to get on the channel and air your views. We're talking midfield in this video. Roy Keane left in 2005. Have they properly replaced him since? You can argue Owen Hargreaves, we didn't play many games, did he? Let's kick it off. Adam, Rebecca and Sufiyan for the debate. Adam, as Chelsea and Real Madrid, has it raised the issue again of the midfield problem?
We miss Fletcher a lot. We miss Fletcher. He would be the man to come in and give us a bit of balance, a bit of grit, a bit of determination that someone like Cleverley needs alongside him, and Carrick needs alongside him. So we miss that. I think the inconsistency of Anderson, the injury doubts over Fletcher hasn't helped, and I think Ferguson's faith in those players has cost him because he hasn't invested. And I think that's kind of where it lies to. We slipped up with Pogba as well.
Yeah, well, I know he's gone, hasn't he? Yeah, and people talk about him going back to City as well. Sif, do you find it weird? I know, because we talk about tactics in modern football and it's not about tackling, but that United can't find someone who's strong, quick and athletic in that midfield, because that's been an issue a lot of United fans have talked about for years now, as we've said.
Yeah, well, I think Sir Alex is trying to mould Wayne Rooney into that sort of box-to-box type of player because of his willingness to, you know, sort of lay down the cause of the team before his own.
He couldn't do it for England last year. He couldn't do it for United. He never seems to work with him in that role.
That's, you know, and you sort of seem to feel sorry for Wayne Rooney as well at the same time, because, you know, he is, like Adam said, one of our most important players. In answer to your question, I don't know what it is. I think it's got to do with what Adam said. I think Sir Alex has got too much faith in, you know, in the likes of Anderson and Fletcher. I mean, when Anderson came to United, I mean, you know, we were expecting big things from him.
Yeah, he's goal scoring midfielder, wasn't he? Yeah, before.
Well, exactly. He was supposed to be the left-footed Ronaldinho, and I've seen a few videos on YouTube, and
yeah,
you know,
you
think, wow, this guy's a fantastic player. But I think, you know, Sir Alex is, you know, responsible in a way a little bit because he's played him in a more defensive and more disciplined position. Obviously, he's had injuries as well, so he's not been able to adapt properly. But I mean, he's still young, you know. I mean, I think he's about 24 years old.
Rebecca, it's a trend, isn't it? You remember Alan Smith came to Man United. They tried to play him in central midfield. Ryan Giggs has become a fairly decent central midfield player, but Fergie wants to throw anyone in there, doesn't he, and see what he can do rather than get that finished article.
Yeah. Just sort of blend somebody in there rather. It does seem like that. Try and mould somebody into the role rather than try and find someone. But I don't think you get the best of Wayne Rooney, and I don't think you ever will get the best of Wayne Rooney in that role. Wayne Rooney is your classic number 10.
Does he know where to be defensively? He doesn't seem to know on the pitch either for United or England when you watch him. He never knows where the playmaker is or where he needs to stop that source.
No, it's not natural, and he'll do the job. But when, you know, he's talking in Europe, you know, when he dropped deep in the Bernabeu, I don't think he particularly showed himself.
No, it doesn't seem to stop anyone. He goes defensive. It doesn't seem to actually stop the opposition. He doesn't know where to be.
He goes out of the game. He goes anonymous in that, and we don't want an anonymous Wayne Rooney. We want a Wayne Rooney that's making an impact on the game.
I was going to say, whilst we're on the subject of sort of the sort of midfield area, I think what Phil Jones did at the Bernabeu was absolutely fantastic. So, you know, Sir Alex might be springing a surprise on us by not, you know, going into the transfer market. It could be, you know, moulding Phil Jones to be the type of player, box to box, you know, because he does make them burst forward, and he bursts forward with power.
I think he's a bit too reckless.
You know, and also defensively, alternatively, he's fantastic as well. You know, quite solid.
I'm really surprised that this area hasn't been addressed. I really am. It's not really been addressed since Roy Keane went. We haven't had the box-to-box midfielder that gives us that energy. We're relying at the moment, I think, on Michael Carrick to do it, and it's not his natural game to go box-to-box. He needs somebody to do that work for him so that he can be the creative influence. He can probably be the Paul Scholes. I'd like him to add goals to his game, but he can be the Paul Scholes if we release him from these defensive duties.
Carrick is my player of the season this season. Consistently throughout, he's been there for us. And I think if we could just push him up maybe 10 yards further up the pitch, I think we'd see a lot more of him in the attacking third, and we'd see him get a lot more assists. I mean, he gets assists. He's got less than 5 assists this season off the top of my head. And
it's a good point, Rebecca, isn't it? Getting that pass for Hernandez that Rio Ferdinand's been banging on about how good that was, and there wasn't enough credit for Carrick. But he'd do that more often.
Well, definitely. I mean, that's when you get the best of Michael Carrick, and we've got to take these defensive responsibilities off him. He's not a defensive midfield player. He might wear 16, but he's not Roy Keane, and he's never going to be. You know, he needs somebody. We need somebody who can put the foot on the ball, take the game by the scruff of the neck, and say, you know, right, lads, we're driving forward now. So be that driving force. Let Carrick be in central midfield and pick his passes out. That is where you're going to see the best of Michael Carrick. And he's done that this year, despite the fact that he's still having to do all the defensive things. And that's what's making a lot of Manchester United fans, including myself in a way, eat humble pie over him.
It does affect us a lot more in Europe. I think that holding man, holding position as such, is somewhere where we've lacked. And it affects us in Europe. I mean, imagine if we could have brought on someone like a Michael Essien in form, or someone like that could just sit and shore up the defence. Pogba's the man that should have been doing that role that is just being discussed.
But he's a Balotelli, isn't he? In the making, he's a troublemaker.
No, Fergie should have. We paid less respect towards him. I mean, we used to mess Wes Brown around over his contract, and we do it with the players that come through the academy. We kind of think they should want to be at United more than someone that comes at the age of 25, 26, and we think we can offer them less. I mean, I think we should have went all out to keep him, because he's going to be a talent, as he's shown at
could end up at
Juventus.
City,
true,
if he ends up at City,
bigger than the club.
It's going to be a joke, because he should be in the Reds.
To me, you can't. It's not Manchester United to have, you know, an 18, 19-year-old kid shouting the odds and being bigger than the club. If he wanted to stay at the club, I'd rather have somebody who wants to stay at the club than somebody we have to actively
play golf for a couple of months or whatever.
I agree with that. But I do think we have to stop.
He got too big for his boots, and you know, he was probably poorly advised. But I just don't think you should have an 18, 19-year-old kid shouting the odds at a club like Manchester United, to me.
I agree as well, but I do think we need to try and do more to keep players like that. I mean, you know, he's at our club. We should have showed him. We should have been playing him. Maybe if we played him more, he would have stayed. He would have taken a lesser contract and stayed at the club. But we weren't paying him. So how can you blame him for wanting to leave if he wasn't being played? We didn't show enough faith in him, and faith that I think his talent deserves. We do need someone in there that's got the nitty-gritty. And if Fletcher's not coming back, then we do need to purchase someone that.
Who do you think? Strootman? People talking about?
People talk about Strootman. You know, I can't even think of anyone off the top of my head.
Anyone else? Rebecca, Suf? Anyone you think the midfield enforcer? We've debated it online on Facebook. What do you think?
I've been a very, very big fan of Michael Essien over years, but since he got his injury a couple of years ago, he's not really been up to standards, and you can see that by being sent off to go on loan at Real Madrid, and even there he's not getting 90 minutes game time. But I agree with Adam that we did miss Darren Fletcher. You know, something that he offers something. What Ramirez, you know, sort of similar to what Ramirez offered to Chelsea. And
Yaya Toure for City, I guess, Rebecca. Rebecca, you got one for us as well, haven't you? A player you think United could get or should get?
I think whether we can get him now, but we did allegedly put in a bid for Dembele last summer, but we only offered £5 million. Fulham apparently named their price.
Yeah, and Tottenham are the tightest team in the league, isn't it? To get gazumped by Tottenham is not great.
Well, I don't know whether we were gazumped or whether we just weren't sure about him, but he for me would have been perfect. All right, he's injury prone, or he has been since he went to Tottenham, but you speak to the Tottenham fans about Dembele, and they'll tell you that, you know, they've hardly, you know, lost a game with him in the side, and he does that. He goes box to box. He's dominated our midfield a couple of times this season, you know, and he for me would have been a perfect signing last summer. I was really surprised we didn't go for him. I think it's probably too late with him at Tottenham now.
So Rebecca's gone for Dembele. What do you reckon then, Devils? Get your thoughts in, subscribe, put your comments below. Who's the answer for United's midfield problems? Or just comment and say you don't think they've got one. We'll catch up with another top topic soon.
United fans, you know what to do. Click the button and subscribe to get involved.